All right, how to set timing on a 4.3 S10 Astro GMC Sonoma and whatever else it came in. There's two marks on the harmonic balancer. One, I painted it orange, and it's the second one on the balancer, and it's going to line up with that mark right there on the timing chain case cover. So it should be directly across. All right, and then we're going to come up here. All right, hard to see, but if you look right down there, all right, right down there, you can see the other mark. And there's also a groove. There you go, you can kind of see that groove. That one goes straight across from that one. So that's your first mark, and the other one will line up to that bottom timing case cover mark. All right, now, if you took your distributor out, on the bottom, every distributor in most GM engines anyway, has that right there, that little shaft inside of there. If you can see that, that is what engages your oil pump and makes your oil pump drive. Okay? Now, when you take your distributor out, most of the time it stays right where it's supposed to. Sometimes it does not. Alright, so there's a couple different ways to do this. First things first, you want to make sure that white mark right there lines up with these little holes. Just like that. All right. Now, if you look, other people will tell you it has to line up with this hole. It does not line up with that hole. It actually lines up right about there. Okay, so if you go just past the hole and you look down here, you should be perfectly lined up. So the other way I did it is I put the cap on, found where number 1 cylinder goes to, I drew my mark, and then backed it up just a little before I installed it, and then it slid right in. Now, if you are replacing your distributor, the easiest way, if that gear on the bottom, if this gear right here, you can see that, that's where that oil pump drive goes to. Now, if that is spun, there's two different ways to do it to where you clock it back right. You can take a really long screwdriver, all right? And on this one, it's hard to tell, but I actually drew a line all the way up to the handle so I could see where it was angled. So you're going to drop that down in there, and you're just going to twist it. And you're going to twist it until you get it to line up roughly with your distributor. The other option, and this would be the easiest option if you have a way to do it, is grind that gear down to the point where there's nothing left, or press it off. Some of them press off, some of them don't. Grind it down, and then you can actually use this shaft and just use it to turn that gear down there. All right, now that we got all that lined up, all right, so I'm going to tilt it back just a little like I did. Once again, you can tilt it to right there. And if you come down here, you'll look. Line's perfectly aligned. All right, now you should be able to, and also don't forget that seal right there or you'll be leaking oil. All right. All right. Now, if you look right now, you'll see it's not in the right spot. You'll also see this is not all the way down yet, which means all we got to do is Let's back this up like we had it. All right. And right there we have our in. We have our hole down there for our keeper bolt, our clamp that holds this from spinning in. And if you look, that mark that I put on there, so that it's easier to see where it's at, it's going to line up directly with that little mark there that has a 6 on it. All right. And then it's as simple as putting your cap and rotor back on. So here's your cap. The rotor's already on. All right. You're going to put that on. Don't forget to tighten your screw there and your screw there. All right. So now that I got that roughly in the right spot, you're going to take this bolt down in here, and you're going to install it. So I got that started. You would go ahead and tighten that down. Make sure your cap's down flat. All right, everything looks good. Now your engine should be timed perfectly. All we missed was me tightening this bolt, and the lockdown bolt. All 3 of those are tight. All right, now your firing order is as simple as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so first is 2. This side on the 4.3 runs in order 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6. And then you've got your coil plug, which goes right above 6. All right, so this side's real easy. You find your first plug, which is 2. You're going to follow it back. And you're going to find it back here. Now I've already marked these wires, so it makes my life a little easier. All right, so we're going to put 2. And go back over here, find wire number 4. And then 4. All right, and then your only wire left coming from that side of the motor should be 6. All right, there's 6. All right, here's your coil. Coil wire. All right. Same thing on the other side of the motor. You'll find cylinder wire 1, 3, 5 in that order. But when you get back here, they're not in order. So pay attention. All right. Remember, 1 is in the middle, 5 is all the way at the back, and 3 is at the front. All right. So you got 3, 1, 5, and then you got 2, 4, 6 coil. All right, and if you did everything right, it should be ready to fire up. All right, like I said, we should be ready to start up. My engine is actually going to have a misfire because I broke a plug wire on it, but just to show you that that should be how you do it. There we go. Runs pretty smooth for missing the plug wire, doesn't it? All right. That should conclude all of your fears and worries, and good luck.